Hello again folks, in tonight's video I'm going to be building, or at least attempting to build, the SMD challenge kit from Maker's Box. Now we got this kit from Tindy. It cost me around £10 including delivery to the UK, and if the name doesn't give it away, it is indeed a surface mount device soldering sort of challenge kit. We've got a number of tiny components to go on this board. This board's around an inch across, and the components vary from 1206, which is this larger components or largest components, all the way down to 0201s, which are approximately 0.6 by 0.3 millimeters across. I'm sure you'll agree, absolutely minute, and indeed a massive challenge. It's going to be a bigger challenge because since I've moved house, I've somehow managed to misplace all my various sized soldering tips for my iron. So I'm stuck with the standard one here, and if I just bring the tip onto the iron, you can see that it pretty much covers both pads. So for the really small components, the 0201s, I think I'm going to have to try and use solder paste. It's the only sort of feasible option for me. Use that in conjunction with some hot air. So we'll have a quick look at the kit and then we'll go about building it. So it comes in a little static shielded bag. Comes with the board itself and the components. It's got sorry, I should really explain the circuit. It's got a small 80 tiny 85, which is pre-programmed to sequence some LEDs. So you've got a small capacitor down here, 1206, 0805, 0603, 0402 and 0201 resistors and the corresponding LEDs. And yeah, you solder them all onto the board and pop a battery into the back, CR2032. There's a little holder for it there, and if you do it correctly, then clearly the lights will sequence, or the LEDs will sequence. So yeah, here's the components. They're all taped onto the board. They do give you extra resistors, as it says on the website. You will ultimately lose one of them. They also sent me the second chance as well, and that's the 0201 components, 2 resistors and an LED. This is actually an optional extra, and as part of the ordering process, the kit's around $10 I think, and the second chance is $1. I didn't actually purchase this, they actually included it with the kit, so I'm not sure if that was just a mistake or whether they've decided, given that these are a fraction of a pence each, that, you know, yeah, let's stop being tight and just include it. But there we go, that's the kit. So yeah, I think we will start off and get some components on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the biggest component other than the actual chip itself, and we'll just stick the capacitor on. So it really helps to have a sharp pair of tweezers. I will apologise I will apologise in advance. I will be pausing the video at certain points just to speed up the video process. I'm not going to do this in real time because it will take an absolute eternity, especially when we get down to these tiny ones. I will try and capture that on camera just to show you how difficult it is, but really helps to have a sharp pair of tweezers, just to help pick up the components. And when you are soldering surface mount components, I find it much easier to maneuver the board rather than the components. So it's much easier just to stick it onto the board like that, after you've moved the board into position, and then minor adjustment tweaks with the tweezers. Okay, so what we'll do is now we will flux. I'm using flux solder, flux cord solder, but I'm also going to be using additional flux from this Electrolube flux pen, just to make it absolutely certain that we're going to get this on. Using good quality solder as well, using good old Loctite or multi-core solder. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tin up one side there. So I'll grab the component with my left hand. The board's already in the correct orientation. I'm just going to place that on there and then just reflow that tin that we just put on there. Yep. And once it's on, make sure your tip's nice and clean. Just reflow or put some more solder on the other side, and then on the initial side just a little touch more, just to make sure we've got that good connection. Okay, so there is our first component on. Not super pretty, it's not fully on the board, but as you can see, that's not going to fall off. Okay, so I've shown you the capacitor going on. That's a 1206. So what I'll do is I will start populating the other larger components, and we'll come back to you. I'll probably do down to the 0402, and then we'll finish off with these two tiny ones and then put the actual processor on. So if you bear with me, I'll catch you in, well, probably about 4 hours time. See you in a moment. Okay, welcome back. Right, I've been at it probably about 5 or 10 minutes. All the way down to 0402 I have used the soldering iron. I've checked it under, I've got one of these little jeweler's loops or whatever you call them, and I don't know if that'll even focus, but yeah, I've checked it and I've got a good connection there. So what I was going to do at this point is then move on to the LEDs. Now if I pick this LED up, this is the largest, the 1206. Normally on the back of these, you'll have seen me show these before, they've normally got a triangle or a T or something on that, but not on this one. I don't know if you can see it, just the very faintest, in fact I can't even see it on the camera, but there is a very slight green mark on this end. I don't know if you can see it, I don't think the camera's picking it up. But that is the negative end, the cathode. And if you're having trouble, excuse me, working it out, if you set your multimeter to diode test, I know the lighting's not brilliant here, it's because I've elevated the workbench, but it's on diode test, and I said the cathode was on the left hand side. If you just put it on diode test and then use your probes there, you will see the LED illuminates. So we now know that that's the correct orientation to go on the board. Or we know the polarity, have not checked orientation of the board yet, but that's how you do it. So if you bear with me another 4 hours, I'll catch you then. And as if by magic, the 0805 does have the legend on the back. As you can see, the green triangle currently pointing to the left hand side, or the point of the triangle is the cathode. And if you are watching along, the cathode is on the left hand side, so I just need to flip that LED over, as in flip it that way, and put it onto the board, and that should do fine. So all the cathodes are on the left. So there we go, see you in a moment. Okay folks, right, that says 1206 through to 0402, all on the board, all hand soldered, all covered in flux. Again, just to verify, stick your multimeter on diode test, and the zeros in the silk screen and these little points just to the left of the LED, sorry, to the right of the LED I should say, are actually little sort of test points. And if we do that, we can verify that each LED is indeed working, and both the resistor and the LED are connected. So there we go. So I have to say, the 0402 hand soldering is so difficult. It really is. I cannot tell you how difficult it is to hand solder that, especially using a massive soldering iron tip. I'm just obviously using some isopropyl alcohol here. If you've got a smaller tip, then of course it's going to make the job a lot easier. I'm so disappointed with myself that I've managed to lose my iron tips, but I'll get some. They're super cheap. So we'll just give that a liberal application of isopropyl alcohol, just to get rid of all that flux residue on the board. And then we will look at applying some solder paste to these super tiny components. I am genuinely worried about these. They are so small, you know, less than half a millimetre across, or half a millimetre wide, 0.6 of a millimetre in length. Super challenging. I really, if I was a betting man, I'm going to say it's not going to work, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. So what I'll do is, rather than let you watch me messing about with solder paste, excuse me, I will attempt to apply the solder paste, and then we will restart the video, and you can see me attempt to reflow that using hot air. So if you bear with me just a moment, I'll see you then. Right, here goes nothing. Okay, so I'm using my super cheapo mechanic solder paste. I've actually had this heating up in front of the fan heater here in the workshop, just to sort of liquefy almost, because in the workshop it's really cold and it tends to sort of, you know, harden up. So just having it in front of the fan heater, it should make it a bit more liquid. Here's hoping. There we go. So you can just see it sputting out there. Okay. So now that that's a more usable consistency, shall we say, I'm going to use a little cut-off lead and just dip this in here, and I'm just going to apply the tiniest amount to the pads on the board. Hopefully my head's not getting in the way here. So just the tiniest little dot, and these are not bits of dust, these are actually the components, and yeah, they are super tiny. And I have to say, I am actually already on the second chance LED. So I'm just gently going to lift that in. Oh my god, I'm shaking. And hopefully the surface tension, yep, we'll take that off the tweezers. This was extremely difficult to determine the polarity of. I'm going to have to go in, because the pads are underneath. There we go. So I'm going to rely on surface tension, bringing those two components in. So I'm going to do the excuse me, the LED first. Now I've got this on a really low speed so that it doesn't shoot across the workbench. And as always, just cycle the nozzle round so you're not applying heat in the same place for any great length of time. And hopefully that should speed up. Let's do a bit of the resistor. So definitely saw the resistor reflowing there. Another touch on the LED. And we'll try it at that. So fingers crossed. Back to diode test. Come on, cross your fingers for me. Please work. Yes! You dancer! I'm quite excited about that. That was the bit that was scaring me. Yes! Happy days. Can you tell by my voice I'm quite happy about that? Right. I might as well keep you on. So we will get the chip now, if you will. As you can see, this has been taped over. It has been pre-programmed. Let's tip that out there. And we'll tin up one of the pads here. Should maybe have used a bit of flux. Right, that's that one. And as you can see, if I bring this in actually, you will see the dot pin 1 at the bottom left there, and that's marked on, oops, that's marked on this silk screen. Needed a second chance on that too. So we'll just bring that into place. Clean the iron. Ready. We'll get plenty of flux on there. I might as well do them all just now. Bring in the chip. Let's take it onto the, get that out of the way. It's just going to slide about everywhere. And we'll just reflow that. Apply a little bit of pressure just to make sure it's aligned, flat to the board. There we go. So that looks good to me. And I'll just tack up the rest of the pads. There's a flux bit, and got a short already. Which doesn't want to move. Apply some more flux. There we go. Yeah, this tip's done, I think. It's just not cleaning, not tinning very well. So I'll use a bit of desolder braid on that, I think. Where's my snips? If you're using cheap desolder braid, I always find it helps just to put some more additional flux on. It tends to work a little bit better. Oh, this was supposed to be the easy bit. Alas, it is not. What's and all, guys, what's and all, and girls. So this is where I get the thing built, and I've fried the 80 tiny, isn't it? There we go, eventually. Not my proudest moment in soldering. Okay, plenty of flux. Let's try this. I'll try and get this as clean as I can. There we go, that'll do the job. Okay, we got there in the end. Okay, so give that a good clean with old isopropyl alcohol. This is where I brush off the components to clean the back before we attach the battery compartment, or battery holder I should say. Just give that a little rub down with some lint-free cloth. And then I'll stick the battery holder on. Okay, so we're going to want it so that gravity takes the battery down. These are normally quite tight fit, but as you can see, there's a small sort of bent tab, if you like, to stop the battery from dropping out the bottom. So we'll stick it on that way. This should be a reasonably easy job. He says. What I think I'll just lightly tack up, lightly tin one of the pads. See how that's lined up. Maybe, oops. There we go, that's a bit better. Do the job. And do the other side now. And then we'll go back to the other side and just apply a bit more, because obviously this is a structural joint as well as an electrical joint. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that should be our SMD challenge complete. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit disappointed with my soldering on the 80 Tiny here, but the proof is in the pudding. Let's smash a battery in and see if it works. There we go, SMD challenge complete. Whoop. Right, sorry that was a bit of a longer video than I had anticipated. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me build this challenge. It was indeed challenging, but quite enjoyable. Yeah, things that take you out of your comfort zone. Once you do them, you get that little bit of satisfaction of having completed it. And yeah, certainly took that away from this kit. Fantastic, great little kit. Definitely recommend, if you're up for the challenge, is head over to Tindy and search for SMD challenge, or just Google SMD challenge kit and it pops up. It's the first link you see in Google. But there we have it. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already done so and you'd like to do so, click on my flat head just down about here, and yeah, make sure and click the little notification icon so you can watch my latest videos as I put them up. I have been away, so I am back into the scheme of things. I'll be doing a couple of videos, got a couple of reviews coming up and some other bits and pieces. But yeah, I'm rambling on. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, and as always, all the best.